So Sullivan, who won the toss, he's elected to break. And given the way that the match started yesterday, you can't take your eyes off proceedings for a second when this guy's at the table making that 1-5-3 in the very first frame. It was something really special. Dominic Dale alongside me in the commentary box, and we're hoping for more of the same today, Dom.
Well, we are. I mean, both of these players possess a style of play that will suit one another. Both very attacking, both very quick players. Yize playing some of the best snooker he's ever played, currently ranked number 11 in the world. That's the highest he's ever been. Won the international championships not that long ago. Beat our current world champion Zhao Xintong in the semi-finals and defeated John Higgins, former 4 times world champion, one of the greats of the game, in the final by 10 frames to 6. But I have to say, I'm so impressed with the way Ronnie's been playing here at the World Open in Yushan. I think his form ahead of the World Championships is as good as I've ever seen it or ever known it to be. So you really do have to put him into the equation of winning an 8th world title. And he's in first here. Made 1,320 career centuries.
Six. Seven.
Just mistimed the strike of the cue ball a fraction there, and the red went in off the bottom jaw, as you saw. But the reason he has finished so straight on the black is because he potted the red on the thick side. Had he potted it cleanly, the cue ball would have run on an extra inch or so. And that could make a difference here, because all these reds are rather blocking one another, and Ronnie needed an angle on the black to try and disturb a couple of them. You see, he doesn't really have that angle, so he's having to leave a very tricky red to the centre now.
$14. 15.
That's a lovely pot from Ronnie. And that's the cannon he wanted to play from the previous black but couldn't.
22. 23.
And now Ronnie could very well go into the right-hand half of that little group of reds below the pink there. If he plays it well, he could have a choice of 3 reds into both of the corners. Oh, he's missed the black. He missed the cannon, missed the black.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 23.
Well, I don't think Wu is expected to be back at the table quite so soon as this. But the fact that Ronnie missed the cannon on the edge of the pack there, I don't know whether he had a poor contact, because Ronnie, mustn't be forgotten, does not use this new brand of chalk which has almost eliminated kicks from the game of snooker these days. Ronnie uses the old style of chalk where kicks were prevalent at one time. Now, I wonder if Yize will pop the black on the thin side and go into the pack of reds here. Has a good angle to do that if he wishes. just caught the top of the pack of reds, but it's finished okay. He's got an easy-ish red to the right corner. He's brought reds into
8.
play. This is a good chance now that he's created.
Nine.
Yize appearing in his 7th ranking semi-final, hoping for a 4th final appearance. And it's been a very impressive
16.
collection of scalps this week. Liam Pullen, Chang Bing-Yu, Stuart Bingham in a decider, with Bingham harbouring hopes at the time of becoming a seed for the Crucible. And then Kyron Wilson from 2-0 down, 5 frames in a row. And then Mark Allen yesterday, 5-1 with 2 centuries, including a 140. So he's been in sparkling form again.
He'd been disappointed not to have finished on the
Yize,
red there.
16.
So both players have had an opportunity, to 7 points separating them, but that red that's up there near the yellow could cause problems. It's a bit of a risk to play into bolt because of that red, unless you use the brown to block it off. Well, I have to say, it has to be worth a go, this red into the left centre, because the cue ball would delicately cannon the yellow, which would leave him on the yellow or the brown. And I can't see a red that he's likely to leave on if this red rebounds to a safe position should he miss it.
Oh, 1 or 2 claps, I think. Members of the audience thought that was in for a moment.
One.
The 153 break aside, O'Sullivan has been scoring very heavily throughout the week. 7 centuries from him.
The black? Yeah.
He's only dropped 4 frames, whitewashing both Matt Selt and Ryan Day, beating Sean Murphy in a very high quality match where Murphy played well, 5-3. Something stuck to the cue ball, it would seem, or rather the black ball, I should say.
Yes, it'll be a spot of chalk. Because of the chalk that Ronnie uses, it does adhere itself to the object ball when you do get a kick, and that tells me that Ronnie probably did miss his black off the spot because of a kick. That's why the cue ball also ran wide of the pack of reds that he was trying to cannon into.
Eight. 9.
And now again, could play a delicate cannon into the 3 reds above the black here, if he wishes. The only reason I said that, sometimes those little half stun shots that Ronnie's just played there can go wrong. You can just
16.
get a trace too much backspin on the cube and cannon the red that you're trying to stun past, but he played it so
17.
well. But now would consider a cannon on the right red of the three. Play the middle one instead, but he's still okay. He's just bunched the reds up together a little bit though.
24. 25.
Once again this season he's been playing infrequently. Of course his highlight was making the final in Saudi Arabia, in Jeddah, when he made 2 147s on the same evening in the semis against Chris Wakelin and came within a frame of taking the title.
32.
Neil Robertson denying him in a thriller in the decider.
$33.
But he hasn't won a ranking event for well over 2 years now. You've got to go back to January 2024 and the World Grand Prix when he beat Trump for the last time. He extended his record tally of ranking crowns to 41.
38.
And this one missing from his collection, the World Open.
I always look forward to the World Championships. It's snooker's blue ribboned event, of course, but I'm looking forward to it more than I have done for a while because of the form of
39.
Ronnie O'Sullivan. He looks as dangerous now as he's ever looked to me ahead of the World Championships, and he could be a serious contender for an 8th World Crown.
Let's put him 46 in front. So he is going to need, it would seem, another red here to be sure. There'll be 51 on the table. Yes, although he's not been playing much
44.
in terms of tournaments, he's been playing a lot away from the match table. And the evidence of that
45.
hard work there for all to see this week. So that should seal the frame with only 43 left.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 45.
.52. O'Sullivan's advantage. So 3 snookers needed for Wu.
Well, I'm sure Wu Yize will attempt to pop this red closest to the black and play for the black. And then he may give himself the opportunity to get a free ball with the 1 red remaining.
1.
So don't expect Wu Yize to play to pop the remaining red from this black. And if he wants to try to create a free ball situation, he
8.
needs to place this red as close as possible to a colour and, of course, get the snooker that he needs. And then there's a chance he may get a free ball should Ronnie fail to escape from it. Oh, this doesn't look particularly good from Wu Yize's point of
8.
view. That wasn't well played. Oh, that was such a good effort from Ronnie. Wu Yize can't possibly avoid the red making contact with the jaws of the pocket here, unless he comes off the bolt cushion first and just flicks the red. Oh, he tried to, but he's left it on. He's made a complete hash of that.
So this frame definitely over now. Not quite the pyrotechnics of the first frame of yesterday, but the same result, Ronnie O'Sullivan winning it. Yize had the chance earlier in the frame with the red to the left centre pocket, but having hit the jaw, it did come back into a potable position, and O'Sullivan was able to make a frame-winning half-century.
6. 9. Ronnie O'Sullivan 19.
Open title. O'Sullivan giving nearly 30 years away to his opponent today. Now in his 51st year, Wu still only 22. Another excellent pot from O'Sullivan. His long game has, generally speaking, been of a very high caliber in recent years.
That shot that Ronnie's just played is so much easier on these beautiful cloths that we play on these days.
5.
Of course, we're down to the one table setup now, so had a bit of a D-rig overnight and completely different auditorium now, a different atmosphere. And of course, because of that, a brand new cloth and brand new set of cushions will have been put on the table ahead of this match, so new conditions for all the players that remain.
12.
It's been very conducive to scoring this week, certainly 76 centuries in all. Wu has made 4 of those, O'Sullivan 7 as mentioned.
13. Just a moment, please.
O'Sullivan immediately recognising that there'll be a slight delay because the pink doesn't respot, so it goes behind that cluster in a direct line with its own spot.
Our referee, Peggy Lee, somebody is a good friend of mine. She spent a lot of time in her younger years growing up in Australia, so her English is very good. I've seen her officiating for quite a while, but it's good to see her back. Now Ronnie's left himself deliberately low on the black to play a cannon on one of these 3 reds. It had to be the outer one because of where the pink is now. If he'd have played the cannon on the middle one, which he possibly would have done, had the pink not been so close to the middle red, he would have been in better position. But the only way he could guarantee position to a red here was to cannon the left-hand red of those 3. But as you can see, he can't guarantee position on a colour from this. So hedged his bets by playing the shot in a certain way, and wow, it's worked out beautifully, absolutely beautifully.
$33. 34.
This week, of course, is going to be O'Sullivan's last competitive action before the World Championship. He hasn't entered the upcoming Tour Championship for the top 12, even though he'd be eligible.
37.
It's
38.
looking highly likely, by the way, that Ding Junhui is going to occupy the 16th and final qualifying spot for the Crucible. The only way that doesn't happen now is if Tepchaya wins this tournament and so gets into the Tour Championship himself and then wins that as well. Otherwise, Ding will be at the Crucible for sure.
43. 44.
But this is a pretty ominous start from the Rocket again.
$51. 52.
That's beautifully played. He purposely left himself the angle on the pink to cannon through the top half of
58.
that little group of reds. There isn't a better break builder than Ronnie O'Sullivan. There's absolutely nothing he doesn't know
59.
about this sport. And it does seem to me, Phil, that everything Ronnie's done this
64.
season has been all about gearing himself up.
65.
Shot at an 8th World Crown. With the World Championships just around the corner now, and his game looks in fine fettle.
Very much so, yes. And he's actually stated that his one remaining ambition is to claim that
70.
8th world title and move one ahead of
71.
the great Stephen Hendry in the process. He's also talked about stripping his game back, re-coaching himself. In terms of his technique, well, whatever he is doing on the practice table, it's very obviously paying off. He's cueing quite brilliantly. Now Wu Yize
78.
already under pressure here. They've only been going
79.
around 20 minutes.
$86.
No century, but another frame-winning contribution from Ronnie O'Sullivan, 86. Wu Yize had just one shot in frame two. He broke off. O'Sullivan stroked in a long red to the right corner and made a break of 86. So 2-0 already to the 7 times world champion. Just checking to see if he's left that red to the centre. He's got a good cue ball.
It would cut in this red, but it's very, very thin, and striking down from off the baulk cushion there, it's very difficult to go through the cue ball to cut a ball back this thin. But he's managed it, has he? He's overcut it. How extraordinary. And I think he's left it.
Things not going to plan at the moment for Wu Yize. The second one that he's attempted into that pocket, which has stayed out. O'Sullivan has always been a fearsome front runner. So often down the years he's bullied opponents, having got in front early.
This is the first opportunity I've had to commentate on one of Ronnie's matches, and it does appear to me that his stance is differing just slightly from its norm. So maybe he's made a slight change
7.
to his setup position for shots. Normally you do that as a player as you get older, because you might have an ailing back or something like that. I mean, something a lot of the older players do. They bend both legs because there's a lot of strain on one of your knee joints. And Ronnie does that. Peter Ebdon ended up doing that. And a lot of players do, actually.
14.
But when Ronnie first turned pro, he would have certainly had his back leg completely taut. Will have to play for the rightmost red here because of the angle he has on the black. He won't want to go into the pack just yet. But I think he'll look for an angle on this next red very shortly to be able to go into them. He'll need it because this, as far as I can ascertain, is the remaining loose red. And he's on it nicely to be able to go up for the blue
22.
here. He's decided to play for the black.
23.
Oh, it's gone wrong. Oh, I'm sure he wishes now he'd have gone up
30.
for the blue. Maybe there was a plant in the pack of reds that he thought might find a pocket somewhere, and that's why he played for the black.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 30.
Well, it's been a little while now since Yize potted a ball. Scored, I think it was 24 points in the first frame. Hasn't scored a point since. And he's overhit that safety considerably. Got to be careful now with that red to the left that's potentially potable. He's got to get a good cue ball here. Again, badly overhit. This cue ball will be close to the bulk line. And he's certainly left a pottle red on for Ronnie. No guaranteed path back towards the blue and the bulk colours from this red though, so Ronnie may have to commit fully to position to a colour from the red. Well, it was just potentially that extra touch of pressure because he had to play for a colour there, Ronnie. There wasn't a certainty of safety in playing that red. But this is the first chance that Yize has had for quite a while. What can you make of this? Ordinarily, you'd expect to score heavily from here with the balls set out the way they are.
Eight.
He became the 9th different player from mainland China to win a ranking event when he claimed the international championship in Nanjing. Got him into the top 16 for the UK championship. He'll also be in the Tour Championship in Manchester.
Sixteen. Seventeen. $24.
Well, he's playing this red here, which he could have played previously, and he could have just shoved those two reds out of the way of the pink. He could have played for the pink.
25.
And just created more of an open space around the pink spot area. He's left himself now, because of the red that he's just played, and the angle that he had on it, rather straight on the black, so he's going to have to play a positional cannon here off field to the red below the black. And although he's played the cannon fairly well, applause from the audience here, he's a little straight on this red.
32. $33.
A very important visit this for Wu to establish himself in this match. We've talked about O'Sullivan's front-running capabilities, so vital that he makes his mark early. We know what he's capable of when he gets in full flow. He can be devastating.
40. 41.
Things looking good now.
$48. 49.
Just a little low on the black, which may force him now to play a delicate cannon onto the pink. Decided not to. Still okay though, he's got a choice of two reds to either corner now.
56. 57.
O'Sullivan got him first, lost position on
63.
30, and then attempting the red to this corner, just jawed it to give Wu the
64.
chance. 34 in front, so this pink and one more red to make it 2-1.
$70. 71.
The crowd acknowledging frame ball.
$77.
O'Sullivan visibly frustrated when he lost position on 30. The red that he missed carried pressure, as Dominic mentioned,
77.
because he knew in missing it He'd be leaving his opponent a good chance, which, barring snookers, he's taken.
It's worth mentioning, although it was a superb break from Wu there, much needed, he was given the opportunity. He didn't create it himself. In fact, it was a very poor safety shot that he played. So poor, in fact, that it tempted Ronnie to take on a red to this left corner, which he only just missed.
It's a long way back, clearly. O'Sullivan hoping for a free ball. As things stand, he needs 3 4-point snookers to tie the frame. I think the fact that he is playing on shows how engaged he's been this week in everything he's been doing. Many times in the past he'd have conceded this frame, I'm sure, but he wants as much match time as possible with the World Championship in mind. So he's left the red, and Wu should now wrap up the frame. And it's been a very important one for Wu Yize. An indifferent start, couple of errors. As Dominic mentioned, a safety error in this one, which could have been very expensive had O'Sullivan knocked the red in. But he didn't, and Wu took his chance nicely.
With a 4 frame conceded.
The break of 77 did the damage for Wu Yize. It'll be Judd Trump against Thepchaiya Nu. That's a replay of the World Open final back in 2019 when Trump won 10-5. He leads the overall head-to-head 7-2, Trump. But Thepchaiya has been in great form all week. It's his first semi-final in a ranking event since the 2022 Scottish Open. Good to see him playing well again. That's coming up at 11:30 AM UK time. The wildlife causing a slight distraction here. Dealt with pretty ruthlessly by our referee.
That was a handy little nudge on the ground. But Ronnie could play a very thin edge off the left-hand red. Have a look at Hawkeye for the first time today. You can just see the right-hand half of that right-hand red as we look from bulk. But he's decided just to leave the cue ball on this top cushion near the corner pocket. What's known as a containing safety. I can only assume the red just above the cue ball doesn't pop past the blue to the yellow pocket. But it looks to me as though it will. Oh, Yize can get through to the red, to the left corner. It's a difficult pot, but one that's well within his capabilities.
Normally such a devastating long potter, but that one was a long way off, which is why a lot moved after he missed it. How expensive is that miss going to be?
One. Eight. 9. Sixteen. 17. 24. 25. 32.
Ronnie may be okay here on the red that he's cannoned into for the left centre. He can stand down for the black. Perhaps he feels, though, in attempting to stand down for the black, he cannon into the red below it. But he was okay. He wasn't particularly hampered
33.
in playing that one to the right corner, so back in A1 position. 5 reds and 5 blacks. Don't think there's any likelihood of a maximum here, though, with the red in bulk and the yellow and the brown on cushion rails.
41.
Doesn't need to bother, does he, now, after that 153 yesterday?
I was going to say it would be something of a case of after the Lord Mayor show, wouldn't it? After the 8th 16 red total clearance in the history of the sport, the highest ever break at 153.
48.
14 blacks, 2 pinks, all the colours, and the final black was far from easy, particularly
49.
given what was riding on it. Yet more history for this man, and he's queuing very well again. Golden chance to take a 3-1 interval lead.
$56. 57. 64. 65.
'So just this red,
70.
and it's going to be 3-1.
71.
Wu didn't get close to the long red, and in missing it, it careered into others. Left O'Sullivan this chance. that's gone wrong, but the frame, you would think
78.
safe with only 67 remaining.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 78.
Yize coming back to the table. Needs 3 4-point snookers as things stand. Ronnie there with that safety he just played from the red. If he could have done, he would have cannoned the black to the top cushion, but wasn't quite able to play that cannon. But Yize has left the red, and I'm sure his hopes have ended now in this 4th frame.
He's going to have to tighten up a little, Yize, in the second half of this match. We saw that excellent 77 break to get on the board, but that aside, there've been a few mistakes, safety errors, a couple of potting errors. And O'Sullivan this week very much in the mood to punish them.
Six. 7. $40. 15. $21. 22.
A very satisfactory start to proceedings for Ronnie O'Sullivan. Appearing in his 96th ranking semi-final, going for a 66th final appearance
26.
and a 42nd ranking title.
26.
Well over 2 years after his 41st. Very unlucky, great cannon, but
Ronnie
entirely
O'Sullivan,
academic
26.
because Ronnie
Yize,
O'Sullivan
7.
had already won the frame.
Concede.
Comfortable win for O'Sullivan. But since then, Yize has established himself as one of the best in the world. He's a ranking titleist this season, of course. And a spectacular talent. And he's going to need all of that if he's to turn this around.
Oh dear, that was a long way off from Yize. The problem is when you just come back after an interval, you have to re-establish that focus, that concentration. It takes a little while sometimes, and when you're faced with a pot as difficult as that one was, you can easily make a mess of it.
Five. Six.
He's at full stretch there, and instead of creating topspin on the cue ball to get nicely on the black, he rather punched through the cue ball there, creating stun if anything, and that's why he's finished in no man's land. I think he would have known that there was always a chance. He may not have played the shot entirely as planned. Is he still taking the black on though? It will cut in. He did take it on. Will it drop? Will it drop? No. But
Ronnie
he's
on
been
Sullivan,
very
6.
fortunate. He hasn't left a pot on for his opponent. Oh, that's another dreadful safety from Wu Yize. Has he left a pot on? Can Ronnie get through to the red to the right? Fortunately for Wu Yize, he can't. Well, rare mistake from Ronnie in the tactical department of the game. He knew he couldn't afford to cannon into a bulk colour there, but he has.
Normally, Wu Yize would devour a long red like this, but his long game's not quite been on point so far. This is a big shot for him. Yeah, well done.
1.
Well, there's no easy red to get onto from the bulk colours, so he may be deciding to play the black here and go into the pack of reds. But there wasn't any guarantee with that either, and he didn't play it particularly well, it has to be said. I don't know if he had the confidence to play it with more pace for fear of glancing
8.
off the pack of reds and the cue ball ending up in bulk. At first glance, I don't think he has a pot that he's likely to go for here. This red to the right centre would drop in very slowly, but what good that'll do him, I'm not sure. There is a very thin cut to the left centre, but that's risky. As I say, you can drop this red in and leave a tough blue and a very thin cut on the black possibly. But this red is far from straightforward.
Yize, 8.
Perfectly played by Ronnie. He was expecting the cue ball to go in behind the brown there. But this is where Wu Yize needs to improve. His safety play has been poor. He hasn't created any opportunities from any of his safety play, really. Although he's got a fairly good cue ball there is a possible red on for Ronnie. The cue ball will naturally go around the back of the black and up towards the green. Played it with more pace. A 4-ball cannon on the green would be handy.
One.
That could be good enough. Does he have enough angle on the brown, though, to work with? He couldn't have done much more with that, Ronnie, it has to be said, and if he does take on the red next to the pink spot, it's very risky. And I don't think he can guarantee position from it unless the pink pots to the left centre.
He'll be well aware of the danger posed by his opponent when he gets in full flow, and he won't want to present him with an opportunity. He's in control of this match at the moment. This is a tough pot.
Six.
It's a great pot. Terrific cueing. It was a good deal more difficult than it looked that. It's going to need another good one, assuming the black passes. Yeah, he didn't have a full pocket. Hang on. Oh, my goodness, what a fluke. What a fluke. Well, everything's going O'Sullivan's way right now. He can do no wrong.
13.
Well, it took a lot of courage and bravery to knock in the red that was near the pink spot. I really didn't think he'd take it on. It was a superb pot, but the black wasn't easy. Had to play it with a little bit of pace, cueing off the side cushion, and was very fortunate that the double kiss resulted in the black still going in. But unless those two reds to the left of the pink are a plant to the centre pocket, I don't think there'll be any continuance of the break.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 13. One.
That was one of the best shots Wu has played so far in this semi-final. Dead straight, cued it beautifully. If he can win this frame, then of course he's very much back in contention.
Very tall man, Wu Yize. He's probably about 6'2". Because of that, has a much wider stance than Ronnie O'Sullivan, which will enable him to get down on the shot. But Ronnie has played a couple of safeties that have resulted in the cue ball cannoning the brown. It's those little mistakes that Wu needs to hope for, really, from Ronnie O'Sullivan, because his safety hasn't been very good so far, Wu Yize. But he's potted a couple of very good balls in this fifth frame,
16.
which you feel he must win.
23. 24.
That's a dreadful mistake from Wu Yize. He potted the red so thickly, he's far too low on the black to hold for his next red now. I mean, looking at this, I think he's going to have to take the cue ball in and out of bulk unless he wants to consider the pink. Problem is, the natural angle for the cue ball, if he did go in and out of bulk, would be to cannon into the 3 reds near the right side cushion there. So what will he decide to play here? And out of bulk it is. Cue ball will be cannoning those 3 reds. And it's worked out.
31. 32.
Well, he's taken a few shots, but finally he's back in good position. The problem is now, this is the last of the easily possible
38.
reds.
$39.
The lead goes to 28, still 59 on the table. A number of the reds are awkward. So Wu getting himself into a very good position now in this frame, launched by that excellent arrow straight red from distance.
45.
His best long pot of the match by far.
$46.
And he's cued that pretty nicely. Quick look at the scoreboard, getting closer, but still work to be done. 51 now left.
He's made a lot of positional errors in this break though, Wu Yize, and that was another one. He's the wrong side of the black, he needs another red. So this frame is far from over yet. Remaining 3 reds on cushion rails. If he pots the black, he'll be 42 up with 51 remaining. So that man there in picture probably expects to get back to the table sooner rather than later. Is he really going to take this red on? Can play it with an element of safety though.
Yize, 53.
It's probably the worst bit of cueing we've seen from O'Sullivan, and he's left the red, which is frame ball. So it's looking like 3-2, a big frame for Wu Yize to win, a must-win frame really. 4-1, and things are looking pretty bleak, but he's got it on the board. Some good pots in this frame, not least the red to get in for that break. Just this required. O'Sullivan would need a couple of snookers.
Well, I wonder if victory in this fifth frame will spark Yize back into life, because there's been a few mistakes from Ronnie in this fifth frame that will encourage Yize.
13. Twenty. 22. 25. 29. 29.
Yize very much back in the picture.